is up. Just got off of work. It's probably like, I'd say like 4:45 or so. I'm currently headed home. Probably sit down and either edit or record. So I kind of just wanted to talk about like kind of my game plan for Unbound Apparel. Like, you know, I don't really care how many views this video gets or anything. It's kind of just there for when this brand does blow up, and it does become something that people, you know, recognize. Then I can come back to this, or multiple people can come back to this and be like, well, where did it start? You know, what was he thinking when he started this company? And I also want to start a personal brand, obviously, is what I'm doing, but I want this video just to be like a ground layout for what I'm thinking, my mindset, and how I kind of plan about going through this, you know. And I've already kind of taken some steps to get there. Like, I have one design, but I plan to get multiple designs. I plan to probably, I'm thinking the sweet spot is around 4 or 5 designs, and then running pre-drop ads for all the designs, and then seeing which ones get the most engagement, seeing which ones like get the most on my email, SMS list, and, you know, email marketing list, blah blah blah. But just seeing which clothes lead to the most engagement, and then probably when I do start running pre-drop ads, I will mainly focus on those. So that's kind of my whole idea with it. But like, I always see people whenever they drop like one piece of clothing and it has like their logo right here, and then the rest of the hoodie is black. I'm like, and you think you're gonna sell out? Like, if you're a Christian brand, sure, bro. Like I'm Christian, 100%. You know, Jesus is Lord, but I'm not gonna do a Christian brand because I kind of want this brand to represent me and myself. Like, I'll definitely have Christian pieces here and there, for sure. But it's just like, I want this brand to not be focused on, because God is definitely a part of me, you know, and I'm not denying that at all. But I want this brand to be focused on, you know, breaking free from societal expectations. That's why it's called Unbound Apparel. It's like unbound by, you know, people expecting you to be someone, and, you know, who you're supposed to be. You know, breaking free from that idea and being someone different. Like, not being the guy that works 9 to 5 and goes home and sits in his chair all day, like this guy. That's all I do, bro. I'm a senior in high school. I work full time through my tech school, and then my last 3 periods are online. So I work full time, and then I do homework on weekends. You know, and I go home and sit in my chair and I work on a company, bro. Like, Unbound Apparel is what I spend all my time doing outside of work. But like, I don't want to be that anymore. You know, I've always, since I was young, since I was like 14, I always had the idea, like, I'm not gonna be, you know, the 9 to 5 guy. I'm not gonna be working 9 to 5, you know, for the rest of my life. Not doing it. Not gonna be working minimum wage for the rest of my life, bro. Like, I see these people on social media who are like, I'm 20 years old, I was broke, and now I'm buying my parents' cars, and I have a Lamborghini, you know, just all that shit. I want it, bro. I want it, and I know that I have the will, and I know I can work towards it and do that, so why not do it, you know? I know for a fact that, you know, come a few years' time, I'm going to be sitting in a spot similar to the people that I look up to currently, you know, at most. And that's not like an if for me, it's a fact. I don't care if that sounds cocky or ignorant or whatever, it's going to happen. And I've known this since I was like 14, 15 when I first got into this. I remember I looked up online, like, how to make money online, and this dropshipper guy popped up, and I started watching his videos, and he was like, oh, I'm a millionaire, and I was like, you can be a millionaire off this stuff? What the hell? Like, I just want to make a few bucks, and now I'm like this whole new world opened up to me. I was like, So there's a way to get rich. Like, this is feasible. And that's when it started for me. And I started drop shipping businesses. My first shipping store I was selling dog beds and dog toys and treats and stuff. And I ran one Instagram ad. Like, I paid another account to run the ad, and it did terribly. And then I ran other ads, and they did terribly. So it's, I learned a lot from it, though. I learned to not be an idiot and not make my website look like shit. I learned how to make a good website. I learned a lot. And I spent a lot of time and money on it. And my dad kind of saw the vision. My mom didn't. My mom's never really seen the vision with, like, what I want to do. Like, she's very focused on me just being a 9-to-5 guy my whole life. And that's not me. It's not me at all, I'm really passionate about starting my own business and stuff. Like, this summer, I started a landscaping company called J&K Lawn Care, and me and my buddy just ran around mowing lawns and making money. And I didn't have a job at the time. I quit my job, I started the company, I started making money that way. It was a good way to make money, and it was very profitable for a long time until it started snowing, and then I had nothing to do. And then I got a job at a mechanic shop, is where I'm working right now, through my tech school, because I knew I was going to get hired through my tech school this year. So I went online on my last 3 high school classes, so I could work full time. But back to the company. Like, I see a lot of companies dropping one design at a time. My whole idea is that I'm going to run pre-drop ads for 5 designs. 4 to 5 is a sweet spot. I'm going to run pre-drop ads for 4 to 5, see which ones get the most engagement, blah, 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 and then come post-drop, I'm going to advertise those with influencer marketing, blah, blah, blah. I'll probably end up doing influencer marketing before. But then I'll probably push those pieces the hardest. Because then I'm doing like 5 drops in one, I kind of feel like. And I was watching a Brett Scales YouTube video, and he was talking about a brand that launched multiple pieces of clothing. I think it was the one, I forgot which one it was, but he was talking about this brand that he worked for, dropped multiple pieces of clothing, and they had a lot of content. I forget his name, but yeah, he had a lot of content, a lot of organic following, and this is his first time running paid advertisements. And obviously, Brad's made him a lot of money, but I was like looking at it and I was thinking, like, okay, why don't I do that with my company? And that's where the idea kind of started to spin and kind of snowball into like a really good realization that I feel like right now is that my first drop is going to be multiple pieces of clothing. I'm not going to put an entire drop and lay it down on one piece of clothing, like one hoodie. It doesn't seem like smart to me at all. Like, if I run pre-drop ads on 5 designs and, say out of those 5 designs, one product is a winning product, probably none of them will be winning products, and my first drop will probably fail, but I'm fine with that. I'm just here to learn. I don't really care if this company takes off. Like, it would be amazing if it did, but if it didn't, I would sit back in my chair and go, time to fucking do it again until I figure it out, Because the best way to figure something out is just by doing it. Just stop thinking and just do it. I've kind of learned that the hard way. But that's really my whole idea, is to drop 5 designs for my first drop, because then other brands do one design, one drop, and then it fails, and then they're like, I quit. I just don't think that's a smart idea. That was my original idea too. That was my original idea, is to do the same thing. And once I had that realization not too long ago, I was like, I'm gonna do that, bro. That seems very smart to me, and that seems like a good decision. And it improves my probability of having a successful drop. So it's definitely what I'm gonna do, and I still have a lot to learn. Like the clothing brand is not end game for me. I'm not probably won't run this clothing brand to the millions. I probably won't scale it that high. I mean, it's a decision for future me. I don't really care about the decision that much, but my final destination is a digital marketing agency or digital brand scaling, and you know that's always the space that I've wanted to get into ever since I started running drop shipping stores online when I was like 15. That's what I'm gonna do, and it was always really scary to me because the agency is a big word. It's a scary word that it freaks a lot of people out because it's, you know, agency means multiple people working, you know, for something. It's not one person. And I've always been the guy who's always like kind of done it alone. And you know, it's always something that I wanted to get into, but I was always too scared to actually look into it and starting to get into it. But now I'm in the situation where I have a full-time job. I'm a senior in high school. I'm about to turn 18. So I can, you know, I'm a legal adult when I turn 18. So, you know, then I can do really like whatever I want, because before that's always been a huge limiting factor for me is my age and the fact that I can't own anything. I got emancipated. I'm an emancipated minor. And I kind of did that to try and like kind of bypass some of the rules, and it did for some, but it didn't help. Really, it didn't really help. Like I can get tattoos, and I cannot listen to my parents, and that's about it. It's the main benefit that I got from being an emancipated minor. I thought it would help with a lot more, but it doesn't, because nobody knows what an emancipated minor is. When you go out to a bank, hey, I want to apply for a loan, you know, I'm an emancipated minor, they give you what's that? What's an emancipated minor? You know, they look it up in their system, and they're like, we don't know what that is, you know, we can't help you. It's like, I thought that this would help me, but it doesn't. You know, it allows me to do some stuff, and it kind of frees me up. Like I can work more than 40 hours a week now, which is nice, so I can make more money. But that is another big benefit. So it was definitely worth it, but it didn't come out the way I expected it to. I was kind of hoping for more, but it's fine. It helps me out in some ways, and I'm grateful for it. But like I said, age has always been a huge limiting factor, and now that I'm at the point where I'm about to turn 18, so I can actually own my own stores and earn income online, now I'm in the perfect spot to, you know, start something. So that's why I'm starting the clothing brand. It's never really been a big plan for me. I've never really had the clothing brand like in the plan, you know. Like, it's never been one of my goals. But I stumbled across starting a clothing brand not that long ago, and then I stumbled across, it was Dooley who I saw a TikTok about him, and I was like, that actually looks kind of sick. And then I saw that he had a YouTube, so I started watching some of his videos, and he was like, I made 7 figures at 20 or 21 or whatever, and I was like, damn, that's crazy. And so I slowly looked into it more and more, and I was like, this clothing brand thing's actually pretty cool, you know? I always thought that clothing brand owners were just a bunch of like stoner skaters that were selling like, you know, polyester clothes. I never thought it was like a real thing that can actually make you a lot of money, but it really can. And that really opened my eyes. And then I was watching a Brett Scales video, and he was talking about like a digital marketing agency, and this is when I first stumbled across him too, and he was like, yeah, I own a clothing brand at first. And I was like, okay, I think I'm going to start a clothing brand. And then I kind of dreamed up the idea of Unbound and all that, and how I want to, you know, kind of the mission statement and stuff. I obviously used AI. Who does not use AI anymore? You know, it's 2025, bro. Hop on ChatGPT. But it was never really in the plans. It was kind of a recent like upbringing, and it really opened my eyes to a lot of opportunity. And so I'm definitely going to hop on this. and kind of try and see what works. Like, Unbound is really just a testing ground for my digital marketing agency, or my digital brand scale, whatever you want to call it. It's just a testing ground to see, like, just to refine my skills and get to a point where I'm confident when, you know, another company gives me access to their Facebook ads manager, that I can do it. Like, I want to feel competent and confident, you know, that I can do this, you know, and I don't want to step into it with like kind of some doubt in my mind, you know, like, I don't really know, like, I've never done this before, I don't really know if I can do this. But if I start my own brand, I nothing to risk. Sure, I have money to risk, but who gives a fuck about money? You know, I don't really care about losing, you know, $5,000 for like a lesson to learn. You know, I'd spend $5,000 right now if I could learn one lesson. You know, information is insane. Like, it's so important and crucial to being an intelligent person that can actually like function under like high stress situations or in complex situations. You know, and I would say that this is a complex situation. But yeah, that's kind of my layout. That's kind of my mindset. That's kind of like, you know, that's kind of what I wanted the first video to be. It's just me sitting here yapping, and I know that this video won't get many views because you see every other YouTube channel making this type of video where they just sit down and talk. I obviously want to have more like active and engaging content, but I really just want this video to be here, just to be here. You know, just so I have something to look back on and be like, okay, you know, I just want to know where I started and what I was thinking at first. And here it is being recorded, so I can always come back and look at it. And maybe say my brand blows up and then some people are looking at it and they're really like moved and intrigued by my brand. They can be like, oh, you know, I kind of want to see how this brand started. They can come back to this video and kind of understand like where my mindset's coming from and stuff. And, you know, the layout in my head of the business plan and kind of how I want to attack this. You know. So yeah, that's all I really wanted it to be. Yeah, I got nothing else to say.